Libra, part 2. Darlings, the first one wasn't that cheery. Again, we're looking for when Mercury comes out of going retrograde and starts going direct, so the last half of April for you guys. So let's have a look at our Libras. So here's the energy here where you've been suffering quite a lot in silence, okay? And again, from continuing through the last theme of the cards that weren't so great, this is down to you, Libra. This is the way that you're acting in life with other people and with yourself in general. You know, be kind to yourself. There is information coming to you through awareness, through dreams, through your intuition, and you've been so fixed and rigid on an outcome for something, whatever situation that is, whether that be love, work, finances, that you're not listening to your gut feeling and you're making the wrong decisions. I mean, there is going to be a final resolution and a celebration to this, okay? I just don't feel it's going to come as quickly as you want, because you're feeling conflicted and defeated within your heart chakra energy here. So I feel like something potentially has gone wrong in a past relationship, and I feel this may not have even been the last relationship or the relationship before that for some of you that you're in. This is quite an old relationship I'm picking up here spiritually that has made you very bitter. Very bitter indeed, and you just want this. This is what you want. You want the harmony, you want the foundation and achievements. And it's telling me here that you can have it. You can, but you need to renegotiate how you're dealing with people in life, because you can sometimes come off a bit guarded. And that is to protect this, because you're suffering inside. And you don't want people to know. You don't want people to know what's going on inside. You don't want people to know that you have been feeling this conflicted and hurt, and that your heart energy and chakra energy is all over the place. So what you're doing is you're building up a wall and you're being very guarded with people. And it can come off as being quite, you know, cold. The Queen of Swords, which is your sign, is known as for being cold anyways. We know this. And it's because you've been through a lot in life. So I think the last 2 weeks in a nutshell is just going to make you readdress how you're dealing with people, how you're coming across to people. I'm just going to have a look at love for you. Okay, for those of you in a relationship, for Libras in a relationship, what will they be dealing with the last 2 weeks of April? So I do see a lot of you have been separated. And for some of you, this happened very quickly. For some of you, you're feeling very, you know, this was a painful ending for you. And your energy is really, really low. And you're trying to reboot it, you're trying to get back up on, but, you know, you're restricting yourself because you don't want to leave this relationship, I feel. I feel it's you that's hurt, or you've hurt somebody, and now you're really trying to get all of your strength together to be able to walk forward. But for some of you, you're restricting yourself. You don't want to. You're in your head about it. But it's over. It is over. And you will have the strength to do it. So what's happened? Okay, so there's the relationship. You were trying to get into balance with this relationship, or the other person was. But there wasn't enough sharing. There wasn't enough balance within the relationship. One person was too guarded because of things that had happened in the past. You or the other person, Libra. So therein lied a decision that needed to be made. For some of you, this could have been an Aries. Again, we did pick up a fire sign earlier. For others, it may be somebody who's a little bit older than you. So there we are, you're sat in your head, okay? Libra, you're obsessively thinking about the situation, which is creating this not being able to see clearly. But the path is there in front of you. If you can stop this over-obsession, this overthinking, and get out of your head, you can rip that blindfold off and walk forward into the sun in your feelings. So there has been betrayal here. Either you've betrayed somebody or somebody's betrayed you, but there's heartache and loss going on. And I don't feel you guys are talking. I don't feel there's any communication. I feel there's a standoff and a stalemate. For some of you Libras, I almost think that being in this place of heartache and loss, now this is going to sound strange, but some of you want to remain there. It's almost like a protective measure for you, something to feel bad about from the past. Means you don't need to walk forward into your future. You can just stay there and mull over that. You've got competition here. You're being kept awake at night because you keep having arguments with that person. They're not there, but you're in your head arguing with them. It's something you're not going to let this go. For some of you, the other party or the other person had to go away for work, maybe possibly travelling overseas. And I feel they kept this information from you until the last minute. For some Libras, I feel that there was another person involved in this situation, either on your side or their side. You will know. Because I can see somebody was juggling here. Maybe you found out that there was another party while this, if your partner does work far away, that they may have been generating relationships outside of the location that you're at, outside of the country that you're at. For others of you, I feel that, you know, it may have been discussed that, you know, to go visit this person at a distance, but finances were an issue, and this caused arguments, because it's almost like for some of you, I'm picking up that you didn't want to disclose that you were skint. You didn't want the person to see you as being skint, so you said nothing, and maybe caused arguments to get out of having to travel because you couldn't afford to do so. I feel within your intentions, Libra, that you feel you can pick up this situation and that you can reverse this death card. But I feel that you'd need to have an awful lot of patience to do that. I feel for some it is a possibility where there wasn't a third party, if this was just a tit-for-tat argument that led to the end of a relationship because of somebody being guarded. But where there was a third party, you may be able to pick up where you left off, but that third party is not going anywhere. Regardless of whether you decide to stay in that relationship or not, or try and re-establish it even, I feel like there's somebody else coming in anyway, another earth sign. Somebody who's going to understand your logic a bit better, but somebody who potentially, I'm sensing here, would want control of the relationship. It's something you don't deal very well with, Libra. So there's a lot of yin and yang energy here, a lot of pull and pushing. And ultimately you're just going to decide you want a fresh start. And again, for those of you who are mothers or wanting to be mothers, this is going to be a great focus for you in terms of the kind of guy that you have around you. If you are coupled, I do feel like that there's been, you know, a fair few arguments been going on. Some of you may be feeling financially left out in the cold, so one partner may be withholding resources here. Don't see you getting out much. There's so much looking back at the past, so much disappointment. But I do see a lot of hope within you to reconnect with a future idea, future goal that you had. I'd say be careful if you're dating. Because there's a lot of sexual energy here. I feel with your dating, if you're dating online or going out meeting people, I've got a character here where you're vulnerable about the past and where you're a bit upset and disappointed. This person will see this, and they're after sex. They are after sex. So without putting too much effort in, they're going to try and walk away with something from you, basically. For the majority of you, I don't see you putting up with that. It's like if you're listening to your intuition, you'll know this person when you meet them if you haven't met them already. And you're going to cut that away, and you're going to be waiting for more of a gracious offer to come in towards you. So I'm going to give you an advice card for the energies that you need to be working with for the last 2 weeks of April, Libra, and we've got Jasper Red. Okay, so this is talking about life force energy. This is really hitting home that, you know, you have to let things go. You have to let things die. Things that aren't working. You know, if it in the part one we spoke a lot about you demanding control of things that you cannot physically control. You cannot control them, and it's about letting that go so that life can begin again, so that the energy flow of the life force can get where it needs to go. You are your own worst enemy this month after Mercury goes direct. Okay, Libra, you need to pay attention to this. You need to just cut away anything that's not working. Your behaviours, your past that keeps repeating itself, you need to look at it, and people in your life that you're trying to keep there or trying to control to a certain extent, situations you're trying to control. If you just let go of the reins, then the good comes in. If you persist in trying to control every detail or people, and if you're using, for some of you, not all of you, malicious ways of doing that, you're going to come unstuck. So that's my advice to you, is just let go and trust yourself and trust in the universe to protect you, because they will do. Okay, thank you, Libra.